Draymond Green is whining and moaning because Draymond Green, who is always angry, uncontrolled, and stupid on the court, I gotta tell you, I don't care whether he's white or black. Draymond Green is an angry man. He's a dumb man on the basketball court. He is appealing to the fact that white people are scared to death to say the words angry black man. The NBA covers for Draymond Green, and when you get covered for, you become entitled. Draymond Green, kind of the anti-Charles, because, well, Draymond Green is unlikable. Charles Barkley, very likable. They are actually similar players, except Charles was way better. But anyway, Draymond Green is bitching, whining, and moaning because Draymond Green, who is always angry, uncontrolled, and stupid on the court, well, he wants your sympathy. No, he does. He wants your sympathy. So instead of saying, I don't want to be seen as an angry man, he throws the, I don't want to be seen as an angry black man, because that stops people from criticizing him. Because saying angry black man is considered racist almost every single time. Well, I got to tell you, I don't care whether he's white or black. Draymond Green is an angry man. He's a dumb man on the basketball court. In fact, anybody that's ever watched or watched lately the Golden State Warriors can clearly tell that Steph Curry and his teammates are tired of him. But he goes on an angry rant, black or white, because that's what he is. He went unhinged. He went unhinged in a crazy post-game rant after a game where, quite frankly, he acted like a jackass. He talks about how he's great at life, how he talks about he's very smart, how he talks about he's very successful, how he talks about how he is very, very, very good at basketball. All while being very, very angry. We all know, and we don't, I guess, care that Draymond Green assaults players on the court. Last night, DeAndre Hunter and Benedict Mathurin went at it. Mathurin, they said, hit Hunter in the pinky. Looked like he just gave him a love tap. Hunter went nuts. They threw Mathurin out. All the while, we see Draymond Green literally grab, hit, do all this cheap-shotting stuff because Draymond Green is a cheap-shotting, angry man. But Green ain't having it. He is appealing to the fact that white people are scared to death to say the words angry black man. And, of course, the NBA media, who stands on the side, African-American media, who stands on the side like Wilbon did post, of African-American players because they want to hang. They want to hang. White guys are scared. Black guys want to hang. And next thing you know, we got Draymond Green acting like an idiot. And everyone's afraid to call him out except this guy. Here's Draymond Green's idiotic rant.
Look like the angry black man. I'm not an angry black man. I'm a very successful, educated black man with a great family. And I'm great at basketball. I'm great at what I do. The agenda to try to keep making me look like an angry black man is crazy. I'm sick of it. It's ridiculous.
Well, no one is trying to make you look like anything, son. You make yourself look like an angry man. Now, you can say black man. You can say angry basketball player. You could say angry man that wears his underwear to work. You can say whatever you want. But you are not only angry, you're really stupid. And you're ridiculous. And you're an immature child. Now, hey, hold on a second, though. It sells. It absolutely sells. See, Draymond Green is one of the few people smart enough in the NBA to already set himself up for future endeavors. You know, Junior Bridgman, who Charles and I spoke of, did that very thing. Isaiah Thomas did that very thing. Shaq and, of course, Charles and Kenny Smith have done that very thing. You can take the black out. See, if he would have just said man, then people could come at him. But he threw the black in there. So we're all supposed to cower. Oh, my God. Well, of course he's angry. And he's a man. He's an idiot. He's an angry, idiotic man who acts like a fool on the court and then talks really fast, goes on the offensive, which makes all the white guys scared to death and all the black guys go, yeah. You want some evidence? All the black guys going, yeah? Here's Michael Wilbon going, yay.
I smiled when I heard Draymond saying I'm not an angry black man. I know exactly what he's talking about, the portrayal of it. I am often that person, have been that. I'm older than Draymond. There are things that happen publicly and privately that make you angry. I quoted the great Arthur Ashe earlier today. I'll do it one more time. Arthur Ashe once said or wrote, being a black man in America is like having a second full-time job. Nobody more eloquent than Arthur Ashe. And I just remember when I heard it thinking, oh my God, this is it. And if you go back, years, decades, generations, there were many more things to be angry about than I've ever had or that Draymond ever has. And I like Draymond's resentment of the characterization. Again, don't know why. May not find out why. But do I find it a big deal, strangely enough, even though I'm sitting talking? No, I don't. This is the world.
In that moment, obviously.
So Wilbon's talking about something from the 70s. Now, I just want you to think for just a second. 1975 is 50 years ago. 50 years ago, that's what Wilbon's still crying about. All right. Hey, do your thing. Nobody's portraying Draymond Green as anything other than what he portrays himself to be on the basketball court. And whether you want to say black man, angry basketball player, angry adult male, whatever you want to say. Because that's how he portrays himself. Nobody's giving him this portrayal. Nobody is making him run around like a jackass, get in a referee's face and call him a dirty MFer. And we see it right there on camera. It was like no different than Bob Knight on the sideline. They put a camera on Coach Knight every single game we played. And he was perceived as an angry white man. I mean, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. No, it's very, very simple. You act in a certain way. We, including African Americans that are honest, will look at it and go, damn, what's he so angry about? Why won't he calm down? I mean, and the answer, of course, is he really cares. No, he doesn't. This is a show. This is an unhinged, dangerous lunatic on the basketball court. I've always said this about basketball. If you are chicken shit, and I would argue Draymond Green is the most chicken shit basketball player in the NBA, you can hurt people anytime you want in basketball. Think about it. I've got the ball. You're in a defensive stance in front of me. As a defender, I can punch you right in the nuts, the stomach, the chest, the head, wherever. As the guy with the ball, I can do what Green often does. Act like he's going to shoot, then swing my arm. There is no bigger chicken shit in basketball, and maybe in the history of basketball, than Draymond Green. Think about his history. This has nothing to do with black or white. He punches another black kid, if you want to go that route. Jordan Poole, when Jordan Poole has no idea it's going to be a fight. Should Jordan Poole have? Probably, particularly when you're dealing with an idiot like Green. Okay. Think about what he did the other night. Goes up for a shot and then swings his elbow, swings his arm. It goes back to what I said earlier. You can hurt anybody you'd like at any time on the basketball court. Do you know, maybe there is, maybe they're not as popular, maybe they haven't played on championship teams, maybe they're not as vocal, but do you know any other player in the NBA that chokes people, grabs people, hits them in the nuts, stomps on them, swings his arm, and never gets thrown out? Hell, last night, Benedict Mathurin barely hit a guy, and he got thrown out. The NBA covers for Draymond Green, and when you get covered for, you become entitled. And Green is entitled. Green is full of shit. Black, white, green, or purple. He's the most chicken shit basketball player we've ever had in the NBA. He is completely full of shit when he speaks. And if people are going to criticize him, he's getting exactly what he portrays. Not anybody else. He portrays it. And now he wants to be a victim. Oh, suck it. Green has been rewarded for his behavior since Kerr took over. Now, Kerr's chicken shit too, of course. Since the 2014-15 season, he's won 4 NBA titles, been one of the most valuable contributors to the Golden State dynasty, and because of his franchise success, they have condoned his deportment. The Warriors have stood by him through the intentional fouls, the technical fouls, the suspension. That was made crystal clear after Green punched Jordan Poole in the face in 2022. A year after, Green got a new contract. Where was Poole? Exiled to the Washington Wizards. There is no outside agenda here. Green built his reputation. Green portrays exactly what he gets accused of being, whether it's black, white, green, or purple. An angry dude on the court that is a coward, that is a chicken shit, cheap shot artist. There's no outside agenda here. Green built his reputation, incident by incident. He is responsible for it. Has his behavior been weaponized against him, leading to treatment he doesn't deserve? Probably, but I would argue the other way. He gets treatment he doesn't deserve by being able to stay in games, not get kicked out of the league, and continue to try to hurt other players. But he can't blame others without first looking in the mirror. Yeah, he'll never do that because he speaks loud and everybody cowers. Screw him. He's a coward. He's a fraud. And without Steph Curry or Klay Thompson by his side, truthfully, hasn't done shit as a basketball player. Whatever. Hey, you enjoying the show? Of course you are. Make sure you head over to youtube.com/@OutKick/videos to like, comment, and subscribe. That way you will never miss any of our great, unfiltered, unafraid content. Mike Tirico is a dear friend of mine. Mike Tirico and I worked together for a number of years. We're still on group chats, all that kind of stuff. Mike Tirico is the consummate professional. Mike Tirico won't come on OutKick. OutKick was kind of nasty to him in the early days of OutKick becoming what OutKick is, but that's okay. He is tired, and I'm with him on this. I really am tired of ESPN hosts highlighting their fandom of certain teams when delivering sports coverage. Say he doesn't care what teams the anchors are fans of. Rather, he wants to learn something new about a team that he doesn't follow on a normal basis. I'm so with you on this. Listening to Stephen A. Smith or some little DEI hire anchor on ESPN talk about who they're fans of, who cares? It doesn't make it more interesting. It really doesn't. Now, this show's different because I don't care. People do now, and it bothers me. I don't like watching SportsCenter or other shows on ESPN where the anchors are talking about who they're fans of. Like, who cares? I don't care. I'd much rather know the 30 seconds about something related to that team that I don't know, as opposed to your fandom. Now, Mike says, generationally, people kind of like it because they can relate to the anchors a little bit more. So I get it. I'm just saying my personal choice is that's the way I was brought up as a journalist. I don't care if you're a Republican or you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Phillies fan or a 49ers fan. Your job is to tell me the news. And in sports talk, that's a different world. But when you're doing the facts and you're in the middle of a game, I don't want to hear it. Yeah, he's right. Sports talk, I mean, let's be honest. I got 5 hours to fill every day. I mean, in 5 hours, particularly local, I'm going to tell you about the Pacers. I'm going to tell you about the Colts. I mean, it's a local show. He's talking about national Sports Center hosts, national shows on ESPN. He's right. Give a rat's ass whether Stephen A. Smith likes the Knicks, the Cowboys, whatever. Don't care. Stephen A. Smith is great, and he's a friend, and he does a wonderful job. But I don't want time wasted during the halftime show telling me your feelings as a Knicks fan. Boy, is that true. Boy, is that true. I mean, we didn't see Spike Lee ever at a St. John's game until now. I don't care about any of it, not even a little. And what I missed and what I need to look forward to is what I want. But again, that's just a personal way of consuming sports. And I'm a little bit old school when it comes to that. I'm old, so I'm glad to be old school. Boy, I'm old, and I'm really glad to be old school. I am. You know, I got a question. Why is it that lesbians hate men, but they want to look like them? Or they want to date someone that looks like them? Yeah, I don't get it. Kate Fagan is the latest. I guess Kate Fagan was a sports personality on ESPN's Around the Horn. I guess she returned to the network to appear on one of the final episodes of Around the Horn. Using her final send-off, Kate Fagan, whoever that is going to lecture America that trans kids deserve to play sports. Of course they do. Play it against the boys. Before praising the show as being the bastion of DEI. Boy, she's right about that. Here's Kate Fagan.
Has on Around the Horn, it's been about diversity and inclusion and lifting up new voices because sports is joy and sports is humanity. And the more people who have that, the better. And Tony, I love you. So thanks for having me back on.
Where's the part about transgender kids? Do we not have that? Sports is joy. Okay. Well, she also went on to say that transgender kids deserve to play sports. Of course they do. Of course transgender kids deserve to play sports. Play your heart out. Why you got to play against women? Why does everybody got to play against women? I don't understand it. Why is sports joy? Sports is joy to like some lesbian, but sports is competition. Sports is theater. In some instances, the way guys approach it, myself included, when I was coaching or playing, sports is war. Sports is ego. Sports is pride. Oh, sports is joy. Oh, shut up. You never played it with anything but yourself. Just stop it. Sports is joy? No, sports is combat to some of us. I mean, to guys that are making their money, sports is livelihood. Sports is competition. Sports is joy. Yay! No, ain't the way it works, sweetie. I mean, it may in your world. Go out and play Frisbee tag or ultimate Frisbee, whatever it is. I don't care. But joy? Shut the fuck up. Sports is competition. A lot of us, sports is hard-ass work. A lot of it, sports is a test of our mentality, our masculinity. Sports is joy. I love you, Tony. Oh, fuck off. Anyway, ESPN just can't get out of their own way time and time again. Who wants to be lectured at 5:30 during a sports debate show? Yeah, she lectured America. We didn't have it, but she lectured America on transgender kids playing. Like, I don't care whether, and it is. She's right about the show. She is right. That show was the bastion of DEI. People that couldn't get jobs or do anything anywhere else got on that show. Sarah Spain was like the update girl. Then she sold her tits on TV to try to go to the Super Bowl, became a little bit famous, and then got a little role on that show. Okay. Whatever. According to reports, here's the least surprising thing in America. You ready for this? According to reports, college football playoff expansion is gaining support. Really? No kidding. And a decision to move to a 16-team field could come as soon as the next few months. Oh, boy. I am shocked by that. That is so out of left field, I can't even believe it. Of course it is, you morons. Of course it is. What do you think, sports people? What do you think, it's going to get lessened? What are you, nuts? There's a lot of money to be made. How are you going to pay for those new facilities? How are you going to pay for those players? We want more. And I want more. I'm not going to sit at home and watch all of it unless Indiana's in it or a team I like, but give me more. The structure, however, it's the structure. I don't like how we do this. Oh, fuck off. Excuse me, Mom. Twist off. I don't like how we do it. I didn't mind what he did. I just don't like the way he did it. Oh, toss off. That's always the thing, right? Some fat pizza stain guy in the weeds reporter. I don't mind the 16-team playoff. I just don't like how they did it. Shut up. In this proposed, people are up in arms because of the automatic bids allotted to the Big Ten and the SEC. In this proposed 16-team format, both the Big Ten and SEC would get 8 bids into the college football playoff. I've told you this for years. This is the worst-kept secret ever. I act like I don't know much, but everybody – remember, the NCAA is right here, and I got so many sources in the NCAA. I told you that the SEC, I told you this before anybody. There's two things I told you before anybody. The Big Ten and the SEC were going to break off, and the new mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, is way worse than Lori Lightfoot. Duh. Anyway, the ACC and Big 12 would receive 2 bids. Wow. One bid would be designated to a group of 6, while the remaining 3 bids would go to at-large teams from any conference. Yeah, this ain't going to sit well. That's all right. I don't mind it. I just don't like the way you do it. A decision is expected over the next month or two. The Big Ten and SEC hold their spring meetings later this month, where the SEC is expected to seriously explore a 9-game conference schedule, a move contingent on the college football playoff format, and negotiations with ESPN for, you guessed it, more scratch, baby. That's right. I still Want to know why the other conference signed away their decision-making ability to only 2 conferences? They should have called their bluff. I don't agree with this one bit. All right. No, college football does not need a 16-team college football playoff format with multiple audible bids per far. Literally nobody wants this except the SEC and Big Ten teams who want to be handed college football sports. I do. I mean, I don't know who college football kings are, but I do. See, here's the deal. I could care less about any of it. The only thing I care about is sitting my fat ass down and having something to watch. That's it. That's all I care about. I'm not going to watch the NBA during this time. I'm not. Pizza Stain, Dan Wolken, there he is. I'm not going to do that. I want something good to watch. I want to see Indiana play Notre Dame, even though the running back, who weighed about twice as much as our fastest corner back, got outran. I don't care. I think they do. I still want to know why the other conferences signed away their decision-making to only 2 conferences. They should have called their bluff. Look at Harrison. Harrison's man. I don't agree with it one bit. Oh, okay. Well, hey, Harrison. Okay. You don't agree? You're mad? Go over there and be mad. You know what I mean? I get it. Go be mad. It's all right. Hey, nobody doesn't want you to be mad. We want you to be mad. We want you to express yourself. 350 million people in this country. You should express yourself, but go be mad. So dumb. Before even one snap on the football field, the SEC and Big Ten will get a minimum of 50% of the bids automatically. Just break away already. Well, San Diego State guy, you had a hell of a quarterback, by the way, in Danny O'Neal. He left. He went to Wisconsin, but he was pretty good. He kept getting banged up. Yeah, I get it. You want to get glad, mad, angry, or sad. Everybody's mad. I'm not mad. I'm not. Why would I be mad? More games. Who cares? But the student athlete, I don't care about that either. I cared about that for so long, I care less. I don't care if anybody goes to class. I don't care if anybody graduates. I don't. I used to really care about cheating, and only Harbaugh, who Urban Meyer broke, he's the only guy still currently cheating. I don't even think there is cheating. And Harbaugh's not even in college football anymore. Anyway, according to the newly elected vice chair of the Democratic National Committee, David Hogg, the Democrat Party have abandoned men who just want to get laid and have fun. What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? What I think happened last election is younger men, they would rather vote for someone who they don't completely agree with, but they don't feel judged by, than someone who they do agree with, that they feel like they have to walk on eggshells constantly because they're going to be judged or ostracized or excommunicated. I got to tell you, good for this guy for saying this, but when I was in my 20s, I didn't give a shit about what the government did. What did I care? I don't get it. I mean, the last election told us don't run vegetable lasagna and then run a complete idiot once vegetable lasagna had to drop out because we all saw that he was a vegetable. So you got rid of vegetable lasagna, brought in a complete word salad dumbass. I don't know. Ultimately, what we have to do here is figure out how to bring people back in, work towards the bigger goal of advancing the future of this country. Duh. Young people should be able to focus on what young people should be able to focus on, which is how to get laid and how to go and have fun. Yeah, that's it. How about go to get a job? How about build a career? How about go be successful? How about get out of your mommy's freaking basement? I mean, how about that? I mean, I get it. And while you do that, you probably will have fun. You probably will get laid. I mean, I've never understood that. Maybe I'm too goal-driven. But this is the goal of the Democratic Party? This is the goal? Get back to young people? How about having somebody in charge that's got some, some cool to him? You say whatever you want about Trump, but Trump's got some cool to him. Even when they were talking about how he handled women, I mean, dudes are like, well, it was the 70s. We've all seen Mad Men. It was a different world. Remember, 75 is 50 years ago. Do I have to educate America every day? Last election, young men 18 to 29 backed President Trump 56% to 42%, compared to women of that age group who preferred Vice President Kamala Harris 58 to 41, according to Tufts University Center for Information and Research on Civic Learning and Engagement. Yeah, women saw a woman. Oh, a woman, we got to vote for her. She's one of us. Yay, Rod, go fight, win. And dudes are like, yeah, I ain't voting for that. Nah, I ain't doing that. No, she's a moron. No, Trump's, no. We ain't doing that. No, ain't doing it. Hey, Davey reported before the show, you're telling me the opening game of the NFL season involves the Eagles playing, is it in Brazil? Is that where the game is?
I don't think the opening game is. I'm going to double check that, but it will be Cowboys versus the Eagles to start things off, which, Dan, last week you talked about how the Cowboys had not had much, seriousness in terms of the hype around
No
them.
sizzle.
Yeah, and then they go out and they make the trade for George Pickens. But I will look that up real quickly for where that game will take place. I would imagine that game is going to be in Philadelphia, but I'll get back to you real quick on that.
No, I can't imagine. I know they're going to play a game. I saw that. I think the Eagles were going to play a game in Tirico just made that announcement. Apparently, Tirico made that announcement on the Today Show. So, all right. Well, there you go. Tell me if I'm right or wrong about this, but I think it's always the defending champ playing opening night. They make a big deal about it. Everybody jumps up and down, stands on their head, and shit snowballs. Isn't that it?
Yeah, the last several years, that Thursday night game has been the defending Super Bowl champ, but that game's going to actually be at Lincoln Financial, Dan, so it will be in Philly. Last year what they did was they had I believe it was Ravens-Chiefs in Kansas City on Thursday, and then Friday, Green Bay played Philly in Brazil. So they'll likely do an international game the Friday after the season kicks off.
Big D, how about those Pacers, big boy?
What did I see? The 41-point halftime lead was the second largest in NBA history for the playoffs.
I didn't. All I know is this: they were up 28. The way the game was going, I looked at my wife. I said, "I don't think I've ever seen anybody up 40 at halftime." Next thing you know, Miles Turner, whap, 17-2 run. I don't know. I assumed it had to be in the top three. I can't imagine. I've never seen a 40-point halftime deficit, and if I did, I don't remember it. You know what I mean? I don't remember.
Well, Dan, what would you say to your team if you were on the trailing side in that situation?
I would say, fellas, get this game over, pack up real quick, because they may come down the hallway and beat our ass again. So get this game over. Let's go. But after this game, don't even shower. Get back to the hotel because they beating our ass so bad. I don't want them coming down here and beating our ass in the locker room. I would, NBA's different. Those guys bitch, whine, and cry. I don't know what the hell you'd say. I mean, it's not like you're going to fool anyone and say, hey, let's get this back to 30 in 5 minutes. Let's get back to 20 by the end of the quarter. Let's get it to 10 with 4 minutes to go. I mean, I guess you could do that, but I think the better strategy is, boys, get in the van. Let's get home. We're getting our ass kicked. It's going to stay kicked, and let's go. Hey, my guys on TNT, Charles Barkley and the others, they're starting to question our guy Jokic. Thunder beat the Nuggets. They split, actually, in Denver, but they're talking about Jokic being gassed. I don't know if he's gassed. I don't know if he's not. We're going to find out. But I would argue this, OKC's the better team. I mean, I would argue that when I watch those two teams, I'm sitting there going, yeah, Denver's trying to hang on for dear life. All right, Denver, you go. I'd also look at it and say, whoa, OKC, when they're playing on all cylinders, they still might lose the series, but I doubt it. I just think they're a better basketball team. I mentioned the Pacers. Look, I like Davey was saying, I'm sorry. I don't think I've ever seen an ass kicking like that. I was at Friday night's game. And Friday night's game, it felt scripted. Like, I know the NBA isn't fixed. I know this. but the whole thing felt scripted. Now, understand this, Indiana fans, whether it's Pacers, Purdue, or Indiana, when things don't go their way, and they were not going the Pacers' way Friday night, they were missing a ton of wide open shots, particularly in the second quarter against a 3-2 zone. And Mark Davis, the referee, was making what seemed like to us every call against the Pacers. All right. My son, my wife, a buddy of mine, and I were at the game, and we would be like, oh, bad call. And then they would show a replay, and we're like, oh, good call. And then we start bitching. I didn't start bitching. This is what we do in Indiana. If it doesn't go our way, maybe we do that everywhere. I'm sure we do. We all start complaining. And truthfully, in the gym, every single play was discussed and debated, not the Pacers or the Cavaliers play, plays made by the referee, calls made by the referee. And we couldn't stop. Wasn't a great environment. I ain't mad about it. Not great. Well, your turn. Your turn, Knicks. Pacers up 2-0 from the road, got their brains beat out Friday night. Came back, beat the brakes off the Cavaliers. Knicks up 2, both road wins in Boston. Came home, got the brakes beat off them. The brakes beat off them, just like the Pacers did. Pacers bounce back. Your turn. Your turn, Knicks. Nick. That's right. Be messing around. Let's see what you got. And the Timberwolves and Warriors, I'll just simply say this. The Warriors have no shot, 0 shot, if Steph Curry is not there. Now, I'm just saying, if Steph Curry is not there, don't even think about it. When Steph Curry was out for the year a few years ago, they had no shot. Draymond Green, the game, what was it, Friday maybe as well? I don't know. Thursday. They were so bad. And they'll continue to be so bad without Steph Curry. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it even a little bit. Not even sort of. But the interesting game is going to be the Knicks. We'll see if the Knicks can bounce back. And, oh, by the way, we'll see if Jason Tatum can bounce back. My boy C. Fitch, first 2 games, as Davey said, of the NFL season, Cowboys at Eagles. It's a kickoff game in Philadelphia, and Chiefs versus the Chargers Friday night in Brazil. Interesting. Friday night in Brazil. My brother always used to say his next wife's going to be Brazilian, or maybe never mind, I'm not going to get into that. I don't know. Hey, Davey, where you at with this? I ain't mad at the NBA or NFL going to London, maybe not even Germany. Where you at with Brazil, South America being involved in the NFL?
I don't have a problem with it as it relates to the international games unless you have the same situation last year. If you remember the injury concerns because guys could not plant their feet without sliding, and you saw a ton of people constantly slip. The concern for injury was through the roof. So it's one of those situations the NFL has to make sure. Dan, just think about the conversation if Patrick Mahomes goes down there. It's not a great turf. The guy tears his ACL game 1. You want to talk about spelling disaster for the NFL in that case. The only thing that they could have to save them in that situation, I'm sure we'd get a cutaway to Taylor Swift right after it happened. But that's, as long as they don't ever do a Super Bowl that's international, I'm good. What's your take there?
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. They moved the Super Bowl out of here. Like that would there's a saying in coaching, we snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. And right now, everything the NFL is the jaws of victory. Everything the NFL does is fantastic. But if you start really jacking around, really taking our game away, that game, then you may have a serious problem. In fact, I would argue it's the only way the NFL could screw the pooch is by doing something with the Super Bowl. And here's the 2 things, Davey, you do with the Super Bowl that could screw the pooch. Make it pay-per-view. If you make it pay-per-view, you're going to have a lot of people pissed off. A lot of people. And I could see that coming. I could see us having to pay somebody a couple bucks to get the Super Bowl. Not next year, not the year after, but I could see that eventually.
So by pay-per-view,
eventually.
are you thinking, because, I mean, Netflix continues to try to get in the live sports game. You think Netflix has a Super Bowl in a couple
that's
years?
what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, something like Netflix or something like you got to pay for Amazon, something like that. I mean, if you have to do that, if they do that to us, man, I got to tell you, I always go back to this, and maybe it's calmed down now. I don't know. But in 2008, when I was named the interim head coach at Indiana, I made a thing like Coach Knightwood. I was going to answer every piece of mail directed to me. And I had no idea. I was not paying attention, not even a little bit, that the Big Ten Network had started. And all of Indiana games were on the Big Ten Network. In Indiana, Channel 4 always had Indiana and Purdue every game, home and away. And then if your local station like Channel 50 in my neck of the woods wanted to take it, great, but whatever. First year that didn't happen. And I mean, the uproar was incredible. And I always go back to that, like, people you don't think care. It isn't the big fat alum or the guys in Indianapolis. It was the farmer. It was the guy down in the coal mine of Shoals, Indiana, working at Crane Military Base. It was all those guys. So if you take the Super Bowl away, that would be on steroids. That would be 10,000 times worse than when the Big Ten Network got into the Big Ten footprint and took away games, which is still an uproar. Mm-hmm. So don't screw with it. Don't screw with it even a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Davey, if they screw with it, that is the only way they can F this thing up, my opinion.
Well,
opinion.
Yeah, Dan, like we talked last week about ESPN and how ESPN Plus continued to lose subscribers. But one of the things I know the SEC does is there's at least one game that's always on, like ESPN Plus, the SEC Network Plus, in terms of the college football season. And you were talking earlier in this show about ESPN being willing to fork over more money for the SEC if they expand to 9 conference games. I'm hearing that figures around an extra $80 million, which if you divvy that up, that's an extra $5 million per conference member. It's one of those things to where they're going to continue to do this. And I know we were talking about the NFL to start this off, but college football, like there's going to be you got to pay for ESPN Plus to get a college football playoff game here.
Don't be surprised. This goes back, way back, but when ESPN first launched ESPN2, they were having problems. People didn't like it. So what they do, they put Duke, North Carolina basketball game on ESPN2. Next thing you know, people started, they had to get ESPN2, and then obviously ESPN2 became part of the normal package. No, it's a fascinating thing. And right now, because of a lot of reasons, including paying coaches and players, don't forget the paying player element, schools are looking for revenue. All right, Chad Withrow going to join us. We're going to get an update on what Cam Ward has been up to. Is he good enough? I mean, how do you know, right? I mean, I don't know. I got a lot to talk to the great Chad Withrow about next.